Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got your boy, Bert, the Hurt, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Bert the Hurt over here. And you know you're rolling with Landy, the Dividend Diplomats. And we can't wait to talk to you about an undervalued dividend aristocrat stock to buy right now.
But before we do, smash that subscribe button, everybody. Give us that thumbs up. Take 2 seconds. Double check to make sure you did it. So just, give it a little look down, check out the Diplomat store while you're scrolling down here, getting ready to leave that comment. See if you want to buy a sweatshirt, coffee mug, sticker, whatever it is. Valentine's Day is coming up, so
buy your sweetheart a little sweetness with a Dividend Diplomat coffee mug.
Yeah, so we are always on the hunt for undervalued dividend growth stocks, especially in this hot stock market. The S&P 500 continues to hover between the mid 4600s to the 47s, and there it's kind of pulling up and down every day, market swinging. But if you keep looking at your portfolio, despite where the market's standing, if you look at your individual dividend growth stock portfolio, man, oh man, is it hard to find a great undervalued dividend stock to buy.
Hard to find undervaluation. The S&P 500 this past week of January that wrapped up on January 14th, finished below 4,700 finally. So we're actually back into the 4,600 territory. Price to earnings on the S&P 500 is in that 26 to 27 range according to multiple.com. But guys, there are still dividend stocks to find out there. So a little big piece of news that caught my eyes this past week was from BlackRock. No, the video is not about BlackRock. It's about their competitor. But BlackRock did what this past week?
They announced a not 1%, not 2%, not 3%, but an 18% increase in their dividend. Why is that important if we're looking at one of their sectors? Because when you see an increase for one of the companies that are performing very well in the sector, you expect to see that start trickling out amongst the other companies. So yeah, I see why you are excited here, Landy.
Very excited about that increase. Again, because they're an asset management firm. They're trying to pool assets, they have their funds, they have their platform, they have their ETFs, et cetera, But there's another big competitor that's a dividend aristocrat in the industry, and that's the dividend stock we're about to talk about. We're talking about the first firm I used when I started my investment journey, and I still own that asset. T. Rowe Price, ticker symbol TROW.
And this will be fun because we are both shareholders of T. Rowe, and we both, based on how the stock has performed over the last 5+ years, our market value is climbing very, very high for T. Rowe. It's absolutely wild how much their price has appreciated. And that's why we are pumped up to see that their stock price continues to come down a little bit. I think year to date they are down 10% over the last 6 months, 14%, even though they're only up 11% over the last 52 weeks, which trails the market and is down from the highs that they had earlier in 2021.
Again, T. Rowe Price, they're a large asset management firm offering obviously all the funds, all the retirement planning solutions, or any other investment solution that you need. Again, T. Rowe Price, Bert was talking about how they've performed within the last year, 6 months, year to date, etc. Last 5 years, they're actually up, almost 140%. So they definitely had a nice run up in the share price. But with the BlackRock increase in their dividend, made me think, wow, with T. Rowe Price really coming down from that 52-week high. Because again, that 52-week high was at $225 per share. They're now trading at just about $175 per share. So they're down $50 from that high. Again, I like to look at where they're at from the high, and that's a 22% drop from the top. So,
and this video is going to be very, very timely because they typically increase their dividend at the beginning of February every month.
Ooh.
So yeah, that 18% could be a leading indicator for what could be a double-digit % dividend increase from T. Rowe Price. Could this be time to try and grab some more shares of this undervalued stock if it performs well in our stock screener ahead of that dividend increase announcement?
What's pretty cool with the timing of all of this is because on Wednesday this week, T. Rowe actually announced that they had growth in their assets under management. Of about 3.7%. They're now about 1.7 trillion of assets under management. So they've obviously increased what they are doing. Obviously the market has helped them in that facet. So again, positive signs, positive results, possibly positive momentum. So Bert, we're going to run them through the Dividend Diplomat stock screener metrics. And what are those 3 metrics, my brother?
PE ratio less than the S&P 500, payout ratio less than 60%, history of increasing dividends, and then we look at that bonus metric, the dividend yield. We do this for every stock that we're buying and analyzing. Of course, if we like it, we're going to perform a little more detailed research prior to there to make sure it fits our metrics, but this is the baseline. This is what we start with to help us find those undervalued dividend stocks to buy.
So guys, we're going to look at T. Rowe Price to see, obviously, if they are a dividend stock for you to buy right now. We own it in each of our portfolios, so we're going to also look at it. Are we going to buy this dividend stock, considering it's hard to find those undervalued dividend stocks to buy in this market? And I would argue T. Rowe Price is a great stock for beginner investors out there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic stock. It's one of my favorites in my portfolio. Should we jump right in, Lanny? Should we check it out?
Let's see what that first metric, that price to earnings, looks like. B.
All right, the stock price is as of January 14th. Friday was the last trading day prior to this video. Share price is $174.97. Forward earnings estimates per Yahoo Finance are $13.31. That gives you a PE ratio of 13.15. That's what, less than half of the S&P 500, which you cited earlier, Lanny?
Less than half than the S&P 500, which is in that 26 to 27 range. So definitely a strong sign of undervaluation for T. Rowe Price. Going into that second dividend metric, the dividend payout ratio. Again, we look for something under 60%. The sweet spot's at 40 to 60 because it shows that they put half of it back into the company and half of it back into your pocket, the shareholder. So their payout ratio is actually only 32.46%.
I mean, well below that perfect metric. Plenty of room to keep growing that dividend going forward,
Yeah,
which is
sure.
exactly what we want to see ahead of a potential dividend increase here at the beginning of February. Let's look at that 5-year dividend growth rate. This is where T. Rowe Price really shines. That 5-year DGR
like
is
a golden star bird.
Yeah, it is 31.74% for T. Rowe Price. And what's absolutely crazy, if you go back 5 years,
31.74% dividend growth rate for 5 years.
Yeah, in 2016, their quarterly dividend was 54 cents, and now it's at 108. So it's doubled since. Yeah, it's doubled in a 5-year period.
The dividend has doubled in 5 years.
And that doesn't even factor in the $3 special dividend that they paid last June.
Guys, dividend growth rate is strong for T. Rowe Price. They've been doing it now for 35 plus years.
Aristocrat, if I've ever seen one.
There's a dividend aristocrat on their way to being hopefully a dividend king by the time we're 50 years old.
Yeah, it is funny when you say it like that, isn't it, Lanny? And then now let's take a look at that fourth and final metric, the bonus metric, the dividend yield. T. Rowe's yield is climbing again. It's up nearly 2.5%. It finished the day at 2.47%.
Wow, almost a 2.5% yield. Almost 2 times the S&P 500, which is around that 125 to 135 at the moment. So again, you're getting a pretty darn good dividend yield on a dividend aristocrat stock that has a significantly high dividend growth rate.
Yeah, so let's summarize here for T. Rowe. PE ratio of 13.15, payout ratio 32%, 5-year dividend growth rate a small 31.74%. They've increased that dividend for 35 years and they're yielding nearly 2.5%. So Lanny, here's the question on everybody's mind. What are you thinking and what are you going to potentially do with T. Rowe Price?
Geez, well, I own 85 shares of T. Rowe. Again, you could see our portfolio. The link is in the description. So if you do the math, this is one of my largest stock positions.
Yeah.
I own $15,000 almost worth of T. Rowe Price stock.
It's insane. So I own 75 shares of T. Rowe Price. Yeah, so pulling in that share price today, 174, that gives me just over 13,000 right there. So
oof. So, you know, again, if you're an investor and you don't have any investment firm stock or, you know, non-banking but still in that financial realm, this is a great dividend stock to buy. Because this is already a significant part of my portfolio, I probably am going to continue to watch T. Rowe Price. Now, if they get into this 160 range, I might. So give me like a $15 price drop. I may be very interested in buying more T. Rowe Price and possibly getting to closer to 100 shares of T. Rowe Price.
Interesting. Yeah, if the price continues to fall, I'll definitely add a couple shares here or there, especially because it is so hard to find an undervalued stock. even if it's climbed from where we bought it, it might just be a great time to build, keep adding that position 1 or 2, even though we are both sitting at significant unrealized gains for the position.
You know, one thing I want to mention, if it does drop $15, it goes down to 160 per share and the yield goes to 2.7%.
Yeah, that might be the target. Let's do it there. We'll both set ourselves, at least grab 2 shares if it hits that mark. What are your thoughts?
Oh, if it hits 160, I'll probably buy maybe 4 shares.
All right, there it is. I'll at least grab 2, Lanny will at least grab 4. We own the right to add more, though. It is our discretion. That's why we're saying at least. Everybody, let us know what you're thinking about T. Rowe Price. Do you own T. Rowe or do you own one of the other asset management companies? And always, if you're not looking at T. Rowe or you're not looking at Citibank, the company we featured in our last video, let us know what undervalued stocks are on your radar. That's what it's about. It's about sharing with the community. It's about growing and putting all of our knowledge together to help us all reach financial freedom as a team.
You know what I haven't done in a while?
What's that?
This video goes out to the millions and millions of dividend investors out there trying to pursue financial freedom by ways of buying dividend investing stocks, because we think it's the best form of passive income for your journey.
And again, subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody. Let's keep crushing it in 2022.
Let's keep going. That was Burton. This was Laney from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.